everybody. So I decided to start a new series on my channel called Mom Chat Monday. It's so catchy, right? It took me forever to come up with that name, and I was like, that's not... Do I have something in my teeth? I just like... This is totally off subject, I know, but I've been doing meal prepping for my husband and I, and we got these containers off of Amazon. I'll link them down below. I'm gonna do like a whole video on it. I made all kinds of really healthy meals that are still yummy, that have flavor and stuff in it, but a lot of the stuff has spinach, and I keep getting spinach stuck in my teeth, so I had to check and make sure. But anyways, so I wanted to do this video, this series of Mom Chat Mondays, and this video, since I'm just introducing, I gotta get cozy, I'm sorry. Since I'm just introducing it, I'm just gonna kind of ramble about me being a mom personally, and things I've had a hard time with, things that have made it a lot easier being a mom and all that stuff, especially a stay-at-home mom like me. You guys, I took my ring off, so if anybody notices I have my ring off, I just took it off because one of my diamonds fell out and I have to go take it in for the warranty. It sucks, but luckily I have a lifetime warranty, but I haven't had it signed off for a while, so hopefully they still honor it. I'm kind of freaked out, but anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. So from now on, anybody who watches these videos can ask questions, can talk about their experiences as moms, and I could talk about that in videos. But like I said, this one's just gonna be like a general about me. So my makeup is all messed up. If you guys haven't noticed, it's like 100-something degrees over here in California. I did run a crap ton of errands, and I didn't really put that much makeup on today. So, and usually this is like my everyday makeup, and it's not that much makeup, so I mean, it's just what's easier for me. And every day I go to the gym. I usually don't even wear any makeup to the gym. I thought there was like a spot. I mean, I usually do my like 5-minute gym makeup routine, which I will link down below because I did a video on that. You can hear my baby in the back. My husband's out there with them. This is another thing that's super hard about being a mom. For those of you who make YouTube videos, you will know it is extremely hard to make YouTube videos when you have like little ones. Like my 5-year-old's gonna start kindergarten, and she's gonna go from, I think it's 8:30 to 3, which is so long to me. It's crazy. Like when I was in kindergarten, they had a morning kindergarten or an afternoon kindergarten, and in the morning one you only went for 4 hours, and then, no, actually I think it was like 3. And then in the afternoon you went for like 3 or 4 hours. And now it's just totally different. It's like 8 hours or something. It's crazy. But anyways, so it's kind of hard for me because I have my 1.5-year-old. Well, she'll be 2 in October, so she's not 1.5. But she just cries and cries and cries and wants me to hold her, and she just wants to be around me 24/7. And I love making videos because it's kind of like a little break. And us moms need breaks sometimes. So anyways, I'm just gonna go into the video. I like rambled on and on. So I'm gonna be talking about like tips and stuff and hard times I've had and stuff like that. So I am a stay-at-home mom. I worked before for like the first year of my oldest. The first year she was born, I went on maternity leave, and then I came like right back after a month, and I worked 2 jobs, and I really liked it. I had so much energy. I was able to clean the house, still cook. My mom or my sister or my husband, which if my husband was off, but he worked 2 jobs also, so no, I'm sorry, he worked and he went to the nursing program, so my mom, my sister, or my husband would watch my daughter when I was at work, and I just came home and I had so much energy and I loved it. I loved working. And then my husband needed me to quit one of my jobs so he could study for his NCLEX. So I did it, and I was really upset because I didn't want to just have like a part-time job, because my other job was only like, I think it was almost 30 hours, but you know, it's part-time, so I wanted to work all the time. Like, not all the time, you know, but I think I worked a total of like 45 hours, which isn't bad. It's like full-time, so. But I wanted that. I wanted to get out and do that, so, because I know I have a bad anxiety. When I'm home, my anxiety is sky high, but when I'm out keeping my mind off of it, you know, working and stuff, my anxiety is like low to nothing. And that was my biggest fear, because we know ourselves, we know how we are. And me, I know that if I'm at home, whether I'm with my kids or, you know, just alone with, you know, a break, it's still like my anxiety is high. So I wanted to work. So after my husband became an RN, it was really hard to find people to watch my daughter. My husband worked all the time, so he didn't even have time to watch her. I mean, obviously he was always at work. So I had to quit my other job, so I became a stay-at-home mom. At first, everything was good. I was fine, like, I didn't have any anxiety or anything. Then we got a house. That was when we lived in an apartment. We bought our first home, and that's when my anxiety went sky high. My hair looks all weird. Sorry. I think it was the move alone. Moving alone, that can be very hard on somebody. It is hard, like having to move all your stuff and then reorganize. It's fun, but if you have anxiety, it's just stressful. So I did that, and then I had postpartum when my daughter was born. And not the postpartum where, you know, most people think of postpartum and they think of harming your child. My doctor literally told me I had the postpartum where I was freaked out about leaving her, and that's another reason why I wanted to go back to work, because of that, the postpartum. I was so obsessed with my baby, my now 5-year-old. I didn't want anybody to touch her. I would cry if somebody wanted to hold her. It was bad. I always thought, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna come through the window and kidnap her. She needs to be with me at all times. I was so bad and freaked out with such bad anxiety. So my battery died, so I had to move the camera. I hope I'm not all weird, at a weird angle now, but. So yeah, I just had very bad postpartum. And I worked, and then when we moved to the house, when I worked, it all went away. But when we moved to the house, it's like it all came rushing back, my anxiety, and all of a sudden I started thinking, oh my gosh, what if something happens to me? What if I die and my daughter's left alone and my husband works a lot? Who's gonna take care of her? Oh my gosh. It was so bad. Like, for a whole year, I was always freaking out. I had bad anxiety. I always thought I was having a heart attack because my anxiety was so bad. I had tons of EKGs, like blood work, all kinds of stuff all the time. And they started getting so annoyed with me, and they're just like, it's anxiety. I don't know what to tell you. I was never on any anxiety medication besides Xanax for like when, you know, you're having a really bad anxiety attack, which I rarely took that. In fact, I still have like pills from when I had, gosh, they're probably bad now. It was back in 2013, so I still have like a couple of those pills, and she only gave me like 30 of them, so I barely ever took them. But I just started hanging out with other moms. What else? Arts and crafts with my daughter, just like taking her to the park and stuff, taking walks, stuff like that. And it really took my mind off of the anxiety and stuff. And one day I just felt so much better. Like, my whole life I've had anxiety. Even in kindergarten, I would throw up every day before school. Until I was in high school, I was like that. I would throw up every day before school. So just like figuring out what works for you. Like, I couldn't work. Daycare is so expensive. Like, if I put both of my daughters in daycare, it'd be, I think, over $1,000, maybe even more than that. But from what the lady I talked to, it'd be at least $1,000. So, it's so expensive. And I understand, you know, they're watching your children and that's their job too. But it's just like, is it worth it? Is it worth having a stranger watch my daughters when pretty much all I'm going to be doing is paying for daycare, and then, you know, they take a crap ton of taxes out of your check and stuff. So that is why I'm a stay-at-home mom. But so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about like things with being a stay-at-home mom, like things people have told me. People have told me, what did I put? So, from my experience, because I'm in like stay-at-home mom groups on Facebook and stuff, a lot of people say that other people assume you're lazy, and also that, you know, everything is expected of you 24/7. Luckily, my husband is very helpful. Like, he is an active father, which is how they should be. I am not going to, you know, praise him for being an active dad, because that's how they should be. And if you're not and you're watching this, you should be involved with your kids, whether you work or not, no matter what. Just because your wife is a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean that you, husbands, shouldn't be helping with your children, because they're your kids too. They're not just the wife's kids, which I have heard a lot of that in groups, like Facebook groups, that the husband won't help at all with their own kids, and that they assume since the wife is a stay-at-home mom that she should do everything. Now, there is like, okay, when your kid, obviously you're not going to have him having to go to work the next day and stay up all night long. Obviously that would be you, because you're the stay-at-home mom. In my head, that's how I think. Like, I don't make my husband do everything. He does jump in, and he's very active with the kids. He plays with them. He'll get them ready for bed if I'm busy doing something and he's home. Most of the time he's not, though. I get them ready for bed and put them to bed before he gets home. But he is a great dad, so I'm very, very lucky for that. And I do feel like that's how dads should be. And I mean, when it comes to, like I said, staying up with them, and your husband works, I do feel like you should do that. Like, I do that, and I don't mind doing that because I'm a stay-at-home mom and I don't have work. Now, being a stay-at-home mom, that's another thing. You don't work. Like, I have been asked so many times, oh, what do you do? Because my husband's an RN, so they think I do something. You know, I went to do a bunch of schooling like him and stuff. And then I tell them, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. They're like, oh. And just give me that look like, you know, it is very hard being a stay-at-home mom emotionally. I feel like it's mostly just mentally and emotionally. It's so hard. It's draining. Like, you're at home with your kids, playing, cooking, cleaning. Like, I feel like so much is expected out of you. Like, for me, I feel like a horrible mom, a horrible stay-at-home mom when my house is messy. And that is the biggest problem that I have. Like, I'm not, like, literally, what is it even called? Like, diagnosed with OCD, but I go crazy if the house is messy. I get so upset when my kids make a mess, and I have yelled at them for making messes, which is really sad because it's like they're kids. Like, my 5-year-old, though, I am trying to teach her, when you make a mess, you clean it up. You don't leave it for mommy. Stress mommy out. Have mommy have to deal with it. Like, she's made, you know, coloring, playing with Play-Doh and stuff, and I tell her, okay, if you're gonna play with that, you're gonna clean it up after. And she goes, okay, mommy, and then she'll leave it and then make a mess in another room. And I'm like, no, that is not what we do. We clean up our first mess, and then you could play with something else, and she will throw the biggest fit, and most of the time she doesn't even clean it, even though I yell at her and tell her, you're gonna clean it, you better clean it, you can't play with the other toy. And usually I still give her way, and she still gets to play with the other thing, which I know I'm learning. She's 5, so, but it is a job. We don't get breaks 24 hours, whether we're sick or not. We're still taking care of our kids, cooking, cleaning, everything else. Like, it is draining. So what has helped me with the, the anxiety and draining of it all, being a stay-at-home mom, I do hang out with friends, like with other kids as much as possible. Probably like once or twice a week we'll hang out with other kids. Right now it's so hot, so it's like our whole like thing is messed up, like groove. Like, we used to go to the park a lot and play with other kids, hang out with friends, have friends over, have them in the backyard because we have a huge playground. But since it's so hot lately, we haven't been doing any of that. But once it becomes fall again, we'll get back in our groove. But I take the kids to the gym and they play in the daycare. It's huge. It's a huge playground over there. And they hang out with other kids, interact with other kids while I'm working out, which is good for me too, because I need that. Like, with anxiety, I used to not believe people when they said that working out helps your anxiety. It really does. It helps a lot. So I do that like in the morning, and then I come home and I do arts and crafts with the kids. Every day we do something. And then I'll clean, I'll play with them for a while, and usually what I do is I'll put on the timer so my oldest can see for 30 minutes. See, but the thing before is I would clean all day long, and like once in a while play with her, which was really bad. My baby keeps coming to the door going, "Mommy, Mommy!" So I keep having to stop this dang video. So anyways, I will put the timer on for 30 minutes, and now that my daughter can physically see that once that timer is over, I will play with her or read to them or we'll do some activity. So that helps out a lot too. You just gotta find what works for you and your family. Every single family is different. Every stay-at-home mom, I guarantee you, is different. There's these stay-at-home moms that are, oh my gosh, they're like organic everything, and they're like super mom. They can conquer the world. I am not that one. I am not that stay-at-home mom. I am like stay-at-home mom next door. I don't know. I don't even know what that would be, but I am not perfect. I don't ever say I am. I make lots of mistakes as a parent, and I do learn from them though. I try very hard, but sometimes it's very hard with 2 daughters, and 2 dogs. So these windows in my house, our new house, are so thin, and like I'm a yeller. I yell a lot. I yell when I'm happy, I yell when I'm mad, I yell when I'm sad. I just yell. That's just how I am. I am very loud. That's just how that's how I was raised. That's how my whole family is. We're all super, super loud people. So I'm pretty sure the neighbors can hear me all the time. Even when I'm talking, I'm loud. And do you hear my baby? Layla? Mommy. See what I mean? This is what I go through the whole thing. So everybody probably thinks I'm just like, the neighbors and stuff, yelling at my kids constantly, but that's just how I am. I just yell, like, no matter what. No matter if I'm happy, sad, mad, that's just how I am. I'm yelling at the dogs, get off the couch, like, because they know better than that. But so I'm sure people, like, I mean, this is a new neighborhood, like, we just moved here, and our neighbors, we don't know them, we haven't really talked to them, but I'm sure they're just like thinking, oh my gosh, all she does is yell. So yeah, I am not one of those soft-spoken, stay-at-home moms that is organic everything and can deal with my children being bad and just, give them a timeout and then they listen. No, my kids are, even though I scream a lot, they don't listen to me at all. I'm not that mom that can like give them that look and they will listen. And I've always looked up to those moms. Like, I always wanted to be that mom where I don't stress out. I just give them a look and then they listen. But I don't spank. I have smacked them on the hand a couple times. When it comes to the stove, my baby is very bad about opening the stove, which there's a lock. I barely figured it out. But one time she tried to touch the burner, so I smacked her little hand because she almost burned her whole hand off. And my oldest, I've done the same when she's run out in the street, when she's touched the oven, when she's tried to touch my curling iron or my straightener. And some people say let them touch it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I said, every mom is different. Some people will let their kids touch it, which I don't know why, but I am not even kidding you. I know people that have let their kids touch their straightener or curler and swear that they never did it again. I'm like, no, I'd rather smack their little hand than have them burned. But they're your kids. I mean, everybody does different parenting. I would never do that stuff though. And I smack their hands if they do something bad, but most of the time I just yell, and that doesn't work. Timeouts, don't work at all. My daughter just gets out of them. Grounding from items. My oldest, that works. I will ground her from, her baby dolls. That's a big thing. I'll ground her from her baby dolls. I'll take her tablet. Amazon was having a huge sale, so we got each of them a new tablet, which they had one they shared amongst themselves, and my oldest dropped it on an accident. It was an accident on the tile, and it just shattered. So we had to get a new one. They each got their own, and so I will ground my oldest from her tablet most of the time, that's what it is. Or some toy that I see her playing with a lot. And that works. And I'll either put it on the timer, or if she did something really bad, like if she hurts her baby sister, I'll take it for the... So yeah, that is how I do the punishing. I'm just like rambling on, and that's what I said this video is going to be about. Because it's just like my first Mom Chat Monday. Another thing about being a stay-at-home mom, I noticed, I used to be so into reading. I would use, gosh, you guys, my hair just keeps going all the place. That's another thing. This is called my mom bun, and most videos you will see me in it because I'm lucky if I get to fix my hair. I'm lucky if I get to wash my hair. Most of the time I use dry shampoo. No, I'm kidding. I do wash my hair though, but I have to take a shower with both my daughters, so it's fun. So anywho, and the reason for that is because my husband works. He usually goes into work before my kids wake up, and then he gets home when my kids fall asleep. And I would like to be nicely showered and in my PJs when he gets home, because what we do is we eat dinner together and then we like to watch TV for a while and just talk. So I'd rather not have to take a shower when he's home so I can spend time with him. So anyways, my nose all stuffed up. I have noticed that my grammar is just so bad now. Like I said, I used to read all the time. I used to say big words all the time, and I loved it. Like, I would like learn a new word, like look it up and use that word in any sentence I could, and I knew so many large words, and now I'm just like, I don't remember any of those words, and I call it mom brain when I forget something, which I forget stuff all the time. Like, I gotta seriously write stuff down. This is my planner. Let me just show you. This is my planner. Oh, and I wrote out a little, this is another thing that helps, a cleaning list. This is a list, which I'll do in another video, but it's like your daily chores. I call it my daily chores. Something I have to do every night before I go to sleep that keeps the house clean, which this whole weekend it's been a mess, but I'm gonna get to it. So, yeah, my grammar is just, it's so bad, and I forget everything. I have to write it down, like I said, in this planner. Lots of things. And I feel like staying at home mom, or being a stay-at-home mom, does that to you, because a lot of the moms I've talked to, they call it mom brain too. they said, okay, like, I talked to this lady that was a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, and now, I'm not going to say what she does now, but she ended up going to school and becoming something. I don't think she watched my videos, but, you know, you never know. So she told me, that she had the vocabulary of a toddler, and I was like, stop it. That's how I feel. That is how I feel. And in these mom groups I'm in, we all say the same thing, that, you know, we feel like our vocabulary is gone, and it's just like, though, when you've been at home, I mean, I'm just at home with my daughters, and they're pretty much all I talk to. I don't really talk to anybody on the phone or anything. My friends all work, so I don't really have anybody to talk to. Once in a while, I'll hang out with my friends, like, alone, probably like once a month. I'll go out with my friends, but I'll have people come over, like, probably once a week. Lately it hasn't been that much, but before it was at least once a week, and I'll talk to them. But other than that, you guys on here is all I talk to. So, and my husband, and I do talk to my mom a lot on the phone. I love to talk to my mom a lot. My mom watches my videos, so hi, mommy. I call her mommy still. And I talk to my sister. Most of the time we just text, though, because we're both, like, so busy with our children that that's what we do, is text. And my grandma. And other than that, that's all I talk to. I don't know if I said my husband, but. So, you know, my vocab is not that good, because all I do most of the time is talk to my daughters. So, that is something that is really hard, that just drives me crazy. And a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just, like, read more and stuff like that? Because I've gotten that from people. Why don't you just look up words up and, like, do that all over again? I have no idea. And I know, if you want to do something, you could do it, right? But for me, my kids are just the main thing. It's my kids. Well, obviously, my husband's part of my kids. I'm going to put him in that same category. So my family. My family, then, the house, then me. That's how I do it. Like, so I try to do as much stuff as I can with my kids, and then clean. And then at the end of the night, it's just me and my husband, and there isn't really much time for me. So this right here is me doing me, what I want to do, these videos. So in time, I know I will be able to do something for me, but right now this is, you know, how it is. I have a almost 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and when my 2-year-old gets a little older, or when she starts kindergarten, I'll be able to do what I want to do. But for now, this is how it is, and that I'm okay with that. I just get so annoyed, like, feeling like a toddler. I'm just like, oh, and having the mom brain, I hate that. Just, like, forgetting everything. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. As I say in all of my videos, have